Hey there YouTube, this is Mega Man 1 through 78 here. It's been a while since I've been behind the camera again, and it feels good to be back. If you've been following my videos these last few weeks, then you've seen what kind of deck I've been playing. And as a little reward for you guys being subscribed to me, and after all, you guys did wait a really long time to see this, I have a deck profile for you guys. My Tempest Gusto deck. So, I actually had the time to playtest it in real life, and even on Dev Pro and Dueling Network, which are the main ways when I first found a deck. That's why I went to test it, because obviously these cards aren't out yet, so there are going to be proxies. But I printed them out, so they look at least somewhat legit. They're black and white though, so sorry, I don't have color printers and stuff. I also printed out like 2 or 3, maybe 4 cards in the extra deck, because again, some of them aren't out yet, and then some of them are just hard to find, like Big Eye and Gayderg. Anyway, so let's just without further ado, let's jump into the deck profile, and we'll go over it as we go on. First up, we have 3 Gusto Eagle. He's the main recruiter. He's one of the main 3 recruiters in Gusto decks. He's a level 1 tuner, and he's normally the main one you're going to be summoning to synchro with. Next up, we have 3 Winda Priestess of Gusto. Sorry about that. She's another one of the main recruiters, and also probably going to be a lot of your non-tuner for when you go for level 5 plays. Next up, we have 3 Gusto Golda. This guy, in my opinion, is the best recruiter in the deck. It doesn't matter how he's sent to the graveyard, as long as it's the last thing to happen, his effect will go off. Also, you'll be using him to synchro often for level 5s, level 8s, and even level 11s with the whole Starform Dragon with a level 8. Next up, we have 2 Cam, Serenity of Gusto. She is your main recycler in the deck, and also your form of +1 in draw engine. She's also a level 4, so she's your main way to go into like rank 4s and stuff. She's also have a 1700 attack, so she's not that bad. Next up, we have one of the MVPs of the deck, Gusto Griffin, and 3 Gusto Griffins. This guy is from Hidden Arsenal 7, just came out a couple of days ago, and his effect reads as follows. If this card is sent from your hand to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Gusto monster from your deck. You can only use the effect of Gusto Griffin once per turn. So he's 800 attack, which means he's not a Debris Dragon target. But if you bring him out with Eagle or Goldo, and your opponent just stopped, like if your opponent's last attack was into an Eagle or Goldo, you can bring this guy out if you have Debris Dragon in your hand, or a way of getting Debris Dragon, and you can make Gayderg, add him to your hand, pitch him, and special summon a Gusto. So that's pretty nice. Next up, we have Tempest, the Elemental Dragon of Cyclones, the other MVP of the deck. He is what makes his deck work. Obviously, the name Tempest Gusto comes from him and being a Gusto deck. So, besides being a recurring 2400 boss monster and a level 7, which allows for level 8 plays, he is the main way of discarding Gusto Griffin, along with another card in the deck. Anyway, when you discard him and Gusto Griffin, you add a dragon from your deck to your hand. And then Gusto Griffin triggers, which lets you special summon a Gusto. So it can be any Gusto. It can be another Griffin, it can be a Winda, it could be a Goldo, it could be an Eagle, or it could be a Cam, depending on whatever you need at the current situation. Next up, we have another MVP of the deck, Lightning Elemental Dragon of Cyclones, or Winds. I mean, I don't know what they're going to call this guy. Anyway, this is the Chibi Elemental Wind Dragon, and basically, he is the other MVP of the deck, because you discard him with Griffin, and you special summon Tempest, and you get Goldo, and that's your level 8 synchro right there. You haven't even used your normal summon. But let's take it a step further. Let's say you defend it for a turn, and you have another Eagle on field from the Gusto loop. You go and discard him and Griffin, you get Tempest, that's 1 level 8, and then use Tempest effect, banish him and Griffin, get Tempest out again, and synchro for another level 8. That's 2 level 8s without even using your normal summon, which is absolutely amazing in my opinion. You only play 2 of him because you don't want to dead draw this. It's very possible for you to draw into these guys and already have used your 3 elemental dragons. I mean, you don't want that, so that's why you minimize it to 2. But you also want to open up with this and Griffin in your opening hand, which is why you play 2. I play 3, but I get that often, so I dropped it down to 2 and have been liking it at 2 for a while now. Next up, we have 2 Debris Dragon. He's the main card you're going to be searching using Tempest's effect when he either gets banished or when you discard him and Griffin. This card allows you to go into rank 4s with Cam. It allows you to make level 7s so you can make your Big Eye or Dragosack play. It also allows you to go into Gatorg and get more Griffin effects and stuff. He can also grab a recruiter from your graveyard, so if you need your recruiter loop, you can always bring out a recruiter with his effect. Next up, we have Shield Wing. This is a personal tech of mine. I got the idea from a friend, and basically he's used so that you can go into Gatorg. He is also not that bad because it takes 3 attacks to kill him. He's also another win for Tempest to banish, and yeah, that's just about it for Shield Wing. He's pretty cool in my opinion. Next up for spells, we have 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. I was playing 3, but then I needed space for other cards, so I'm playing 2 now. We have the Spell Trinity and Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, and Monster Reborn. I should not have to explain this. Now, for consistency purposes, I guess you can say, we have 2 Goldzarks. This card is used to banish the Elemental Dragon, as in regular Elemental Dragon decks, and it adds Tempest Lightning. This is how basically this card makes it so that you open Lightning Griffin a lot often, and you really don't mind it in that situation. Alrighty, if you do this and Lightning, that's 2 Elemental Dragons for 1 Lightning from Goldzark. So that's why you only play 2, because you don't want to dead draw it, which is very possible because you use cards like Goldzark. Next up, we have 2 creature swaps, because a Gusto deck wouldn't be a Gusto deck without creature swap shenanigans. You give him a small recruiter, or even give him Shield Wing, a negated Shield Wing I should say, because you don't ever want to give them a Shield Wing. So you give him a Shield Wing, you give him a Gusto recruiter, you attack into it, and you get your plus off of it. It's really nice. Then we have Fada Avarice, because unlike most Gusto decks where this will interfere, you actually fill up the graveyard fast enough that it doesn't matter. A basic play of the deck would be Lightning, Griffin, Eagle, and Tempest into Stardust or something, or into Scrap Dragon. That already is 4 monsters with the 5th monster on board. That's enough to pay for your Avarice already. That's amazing. And also, if you ran out of cams, if you run out of cams, you're doing something wrong. But it does happen. So, this card also recycles your cams, as well as your recruiters. Next up for traps, we have 1 Solemn Warning. This is the only solemn card I play. This basically, you want to preserve this for a main summon in the opponent's deck. It's a warning. Come on, guys. 1 Call the Haunted. I actually dropped this card for a while, but now I'm playing it again because it allows for more synchro plays. It allows for more Exceed plays. It's just a very good card in this deck, and I might consider bumping it to 2. But for right now, we're just gonna play 1. Now we have Double Torrential. This is your basic monster destruction. Also, with a Goldo on board, you still get your Eagle out, and you're good to go after blowing up your opponent's field. We have 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, which is more monster removal. Then we have 2 Fiendish Chains to stop your opponent's monsters from killing your loop if you don't have a Goldo out. It's also handy for stopping attacks and stuff, but it's a Fiendish Chain. Come on, guys. Extra deck. We have 1 Catastor, 1 Daigusto Guldos, 1 Daigustos Freeze. Now this card is kind of iffy, because honestly the only way you're making this is if you make a Guldos, and then you synchro into Freeze. But the option is there, and Freeze OTKing is too good not to do. So you play the 1's Freeze. Next up, we have Dragoon Knight Gatorg. It's a nice proxy, isn't it? Anyway, with this card, you add a Wing Beast or a Dragon type monster from your deck to your hand, and then you discard a Wing Beast or a Dragon. So here's another one of your main ways of triggering Gusto Griffin. Next up, Ancient Fairy Dragon. I needed another level 7 because I found often that I would make Black Rose just so I can make a Big Eye, and then I wouldn't have the Black Rose to blow up the field if things didn't go right. So I'm playing 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon, and it's been doing great for me. Next up, we have Black Rose Dragon, as if you didn't see this coming. Black Rose Dragon, instant field nuke. There's not much to say about that. Next up, we have a Stardust Dragon, or as I like to call him, Stardust. It's German. I really can't pronounce the thing. Anyway, this is Stardust Dragon. One of the main level 8s you're going to be going to. Anyway, next up we have a Scrap Dragon. Another level 8 you're going to be going to. Pop a Guldo on your opponent's monster, and then you get an Eagle. That's pretty nice. You have Crimson Blader. Now this card is amazing depending on the matchup. Against Lightsworns, you win. Against Mermails, you win to an extent. It depends really, because like you attack them, and then if they decide not to do anything, it's very easy for you to put game on board, which is they basically have to go with, am I going to take the game or am I going to set a monster? If they set a monster, you just keep ramming into them, and then eventually you'll win. Starform Dragon. This card is absolutely amazing. It's a big ass behemoth. They're not getting rid of it with monster removal in the battle phase. So you're not getting a summon, you're not doing anything. And if he does die, he's always a dragon for you to banish for Tempest. Now for Xyz, we have one Lightning Chidori. Lightning Chidori pretty much is amazing. You make it using Cam and Debris Dragon. Those are your 2 level 4s you're going to go into, and you basically spin cards. This card is great. If I had enough space in the extra deck, I probably would play a second, although I've never really needed the need to go for a second one. Now we have Maestro, Symphony of Djinn. This is just basically your generic rank 4. It's really good, so you play it. Next up is Gaga Cowboy, your very own game ender if the opponent is under 800 life points. I wasn't playing this at first, but then I found it. I had the option of going to rank 4 pretty often, and then my opponent would be under 800 life points. So I'm just like, why not play the Cowboy? I mean, it's a free game win. Not only that, he gets over anything he bumps ahead by anything 3,000, and gets over anything 3,000 and less than 29 and less. My bad. So he's a great card. I really shouldn't have to sing his praise. Next up, we have Mecha Phantom Beastcraft Dragosack. E-Dragons play this card. Why can't you, right? Anyway, you special summon 2 tokens, and while there's a token on the you can detach material, special 2 tokens. And while there's a token on the field, he can't be destroyed by card effects or by battle. And then you can also tribute a Mecha Phantom Beast monster. The tokens count, by the way, guys. And you destroy a card on the field. In 2600 body, and he also has a wind monster, so you can always banish him from Tempest when he's in graveyard. Last, for the extra deck, we have number 11, Big Eye. This card has really shaped the meta, in my opinion. I mean, basically, if you can make this card, you play it in your extra deck. I mean, this card jumped from like $15 to like $80 overnight, which is absolutely amazing. I did not see that coming. So yeah, that is the deck profile, guys. It's long awaited. I'm sorry it took me so long to do this. I would rather do deck profiles like this than like record on a computer. To me, that just seems impersonal, and I like to be up close and personal when it comes to doing deck profiles. Also, I don't have a mic. Even if I did have a mic, I probably wouldn't do that anyway. So I don't have a mic, which is why I do the music commentaries. Also, let me know how you guys like that, as well as how much you guys like this deck profile, and what you like about the deck. Any questions you might have about the deck, all that stuff, you can ask me down below in the comment section. And anyway, this is Mega Man 1 through 788, logging out.